Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Leslie Buchanan, and I am here with Jan-Philipp Krutschik from Germany, and he's going to take us on how to be a BikeCheck official. Hi, Jan-Philipp.
Hi. All right. Let's talk about being a BikeCheck official and the duties you have as being a BikeCheck official. So we will go through 5 key points from the TO checklist and go through 5 officiating principles for this TO position. The 5 key points from the TO checklist. So one of the main things is that you coordinate with the other TO areas that are involved in the registration, transition, and all the checks that need to be done before the race, in order to make sure that you're all on the same page, in order that you organize a smooth registration and transition check-in. And if there is a technical fraud check, if there is also, and there will be a wheel station check, you need to come together with all of them, especially as the chief BikeCheck, to coordinate your work. What you need to do, and which is one of the main points, is to organize the BikeCheck lean and efficiently, which means that it has to run smoothly, and we will come to this a few times today, because it is one of the main things that you don't queue up too much. Well, not you, but the athletes don't queue up too much. And that you have a quick and efficient check in there. In order to have this, you need to agree with your head referee beforehand about which checks need to be done and which quota you have for the special random checks. Like it might be that and there will be that you check all the wheels, but you might not check all the saddles. You might not even check all the technical fraud or do the technical fraud check for all the bikes. But you need to agree beforehand how many you want and how flexible you are in the end. And the head referee is the one deciding this because he or she is the one being in charge for the whole check. You need to be very flexible in queue management to avoid waiting times, which means that if you see queuing up, you might leave athletes through, give them in the hands of the registration, get them back for the bike check later on, but you don't want to have them waiting and not having anyone at registration at the same time. But you want to have every station to be equally blocked or challenged by athletes that are there at the same time, in order not to have a long waiting time at some points. And you have to know the rules and the exceptions that were granted. And I'm coming back to the settled position, for example. We've got the settled position in the rule book. You need to know what it is. You need to know how to measure it. At the same time, you need to know the exceptions that were granted by World Triathlon and for which athletes those exceptions apply, in order to make sure that you do the real check and the right checks at the right point with the right decisions. Talking about the officiating principles is that you need to work exactly into the book. As I said, there are rules, and those rules are down to a centimeter. And it's really important that you stick to it, but at the same time that you know where the rules are and where the exceptions are, to make sure that everybody is treated fairly. You need to give the athletes an atmosphere of trust and of distrust. That's something which is a very important principle for me, being a BikeCheck TO. Of course, we need to make sure to the centimeter, as I said, that everything is correct. But we don't look at their bikes as trying to find something. Just make sure that everything is according to the rules. And they are racing every weekend, and they usually know what they do. And they usually don't want to do anything wrong. They do it out of some coincidence, something happened, and that's it. So give them a nice atmosphere of trust. Work quickly and efficiently to avoid queues, as I said. That is very important. So don't check too long. If there's anything to clarify, get the head referee, clear the things, and don't stick too long with the same athletes to clarify things. And in order to do that, you need to have all the information and equipment handy, which is the BikeCheck tool, which is everything that you need to write things down and to check. And which is one of the most important points, smile and welcome the athletes, because you will be the first one to greet them before they enter athletes lounge. So welcome them, give them a warm feeling, and wish them all the best of luck for the race.
That's basically I love that. Yeah, that was such great information, Jan-Philipp. Thanks so much. And I loved it how it was all athlete-centered. You're always thinking about, are the athletes staying in line too long and making sure they're smiling. That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot.